We mentioned it for a second, but the Cleveland Browns, a.k.a. the Atlanta Falcons North, have reassembled their coaching staff with Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Rees, and Bill Callahan, now all in Atlanta together. Bill Callahan will be his offensive line coach. Tommy Rees will be the offensive coordinator. Stefanski the head coach. And he is keeping Jeff Ulbrich on as the defensive coordinator. Bull, you said you didn't see this as a direct – I don't want to say it's a shot, but now it's a direct comparison versus scheme, schematics, and personnel. You don't see it like this?
No, I don't see it like as a shot at the Browns. I mean, I don't know. Do you see it that way, Zach?
Browns. But it's now setting up a direct Stefanski versus
No, but it's
Barry.
not a fair comparison because he's got way more talent there than the Browns do. I mean, they're better at every position than the Browns. Like, I don't love Atlanta's quarterback situation, but Kirk Cousins he played all right at the end of last year. I mean,
well, they're cutting him.
They are going to cut him?
They redid his deal so
all
he
right,
can get out.
so he's got. So then I guess it's going to be Penix.
It's Michael Penix and whoever's next.
Yeah, I don't think much of him, but he hasn't played that much. So.
I did Atlanta radio last night or 2 nights ago. They said Stefanski had 13 starting quarterbacks. I didn't process that. I know he had 12 over the last 3 years, but there was crossover. It was Flacco in 2 different years.
Right.
It was Deshaun in 2 different years.
Is Penix going to be ready?
I think so. But, I mean, he does have that injury history.
Yeah.
I mean, he tore his ACL like 4 times.
3 times.
Well, they'll probably bring it. Maybe they go to Malik Willis, or maybe they trade for Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean, they have that big investment, though, in Penix, and they have him under that friendly contract for 2 more years.
So maybe, but they're going to have to bring in a veteran if they're letting Cousins
He's
go.
left-handed, and he's 6'2".
And maybe they're not necessarily letting him go, but the contract made it last year. It was really heavy because they had signed him to that huge guarantee right before they drafted Penix.
Yeah. Oh, so you mean they opened a spot for Dillon then, huh?
Maybe.
Oh, lefty.
Yeah.
Ready.
I still think you got to have a veteran. But anyway,
supercomputer, he ages.
It's not bringing it together. Callahan and what's his name? Tommy Rees, they didn't coach together.
No.
Tommy Rees was only here 1 year.
It's just a similar Stefanski staff that he had at different parts in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's a fair thing. But look, we've been talking since September about the
Yeah.
construction of the Browns offense, and it was bad. And ultimately, the coach took the fall.
Yeah.
But, like, the construction of it was awful.
Yeah.
And when you talk about 9 different starting O-line combinations and Jerry Jeudy being your number 1 receiver, like, you're barely wading into how bad it actually was.
Yes.
Right? Quinshon Judkins, no training camp. Get in there and play.
Right.
Isaiah Bond, 1 week of training camp. No offseason.
Yeah.
Get in there and play. Right?
Yep.
Like, it was bad. It was bad. It was KT Levinston.
Yes.
Get in there and play.
Zach Zenner couldn't get on the field.
DeJuan Jones got hurt, but he got benched before he lost the left tackle job before
Yeah.
he got hurt.
He might be a center, though. Zach Zenner might be a center.
And you might have to be.
I would say, listen, the upgrade on offense is evident. Like, come on, man. Like, the Falcons got much better players offensively than the Browns have. So, hey, look, man, let's see what he can do with them.
Will Andrew Berry be here next in 27?
I mean, I would say, if I was making the choices, I would say no. But what happened here tells me way more that he has job security than he's on a 1-year trial.
Right. Why, if you're going to fire him next year, why wouldn't you just fire him now?
That's the way I translate it.
We said the same thing about Kevin this past
we
year.
are 2 months away from even seeing the beginning of how they're going to go about fixing this.
Right. Yeah.
We know it needs fixed. We know multiple spots need upgrades. We know decisions have to be made on where resources go. All of that. And that's before you even get to quarterback, the most important position.
Right.
So a lot can change. But the way I read it, I'm with you, Bull, and we've talked about this before, tells me he has job security.
Do you anticipate them getting a lot of cap space?
No, I anticipate them getting sufficient cap space to do what they have to do, and they've shown that they'll just keep kicking things down the road. They'll free up $40 million when they do the Watson restructure, which will put them in the positives.
Yeah.
And then with void years on Njoku and Bitonio and some of those other guys, they can take 2 of them and push them forward. So they'll have plenty, but it won't be a crazy amount. They'll have enough to do what they need to do.
Do you? For me, I'd almost foresee. Do you think you see a trade for any marquee receiver?
I think everyone will be explored, but I don't think you're even in the category of like A.J. Brown because you're just not there.
No, it would have to be a young guy.
Marvin
And
Harrison
he makes a lot of money.
Jr.
Yes, I think you're in that with Keon Coleman, who's still 22 years old.
Olave?
I think that's what you would see. Olave's going to re-sign a big deal in New Orleans.
So,
I think the Bills should trade for A.J. Brown.
Then they might.
he'd be happy
then
there.
Maybe Keon Coleman's available.
But you need that
You want
because
Keon Coleman?
I mean, I just need.
But he's not. That's not what we're talking about.
I
He's
just
not a
need
front
I
line
just need
receiver.
some clay to work with.
you need a Garrett, but also you don't want to tip your hand. Like
Right.
you really need to dig into Jalen Tyson and Carnell Tate and know where you stand with them
Right.
before you make that move. And that move has to be made
What's the matchup
6 or
today?
7 weeks before the draft.
Denzel Boston versus
Yeah.
Chris Bell.
In terms of any of the veterans, you expecting any of the veterans on the offensive line to come back?
I don't expect any of them to come back. No, I'm not sure if Bitonio and Conklin will ever play again. And I think Teller's on
Conklin
his way
too,
out
huh?
the door. Yeah, I mean he had the two
Yeah.
nasty concussions.
You expect to bring back Emerson?
If they can, if Schwartz
Yeah.
is the defensive coordinator, yeah, that's the other thing. Devin Bush is going to make a lot of money. If Schwartz is the defensive coordinator, Devin Bush is back here.
Right.
If he's not, Devin Bush is probably going
somebody-
to.
Tevin Jenkins.
Yeah, if they view him as a starting guard. The thing is,
my gosh.
Garrett, in free agency, it's a lot easier to get guards than tackles.
Yes.
So I do expect them to go get some experience on the offensive line. But let's not forget, in December they signed 3 offensive linemen off other teams' practice squads because they had to, because they just need warm bodies as options in
Right.
case it doesn't go a certain way.
Right.
Casey Levinson is a backup tackle.
If that,
DeJuan Jones is only signed for 1 more year. Like
They don't have any starters on the offensive
This
line.
is
None.
going to be so interesting.
They have 3
right.
starting players. Jerry Judy's a wide receiver 2.
Harold Fannin and
Harold
Quinshon
Fannin
Judkins.
and Judkins. That's it.
and let's
And is Judkins definitely going to be ready for the start of the season?
Yeah,
Okay,
they
he'll
said
be
no
all right.
need, no 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys. Whippler, Judkins, DeJuan Jones. I mean, guys coming off injuries.
Oh, yeah.
You got some guys coming off nicked up a little bit.
Mike's got something. Go ahead,
Zach,
Mike.
yeah, just back to the whole Stefanski thing, and you mentioned the talent in Atlanta, which is certainly more offensive talent they had
Yeah.
in Cleveland. Do you think the system Stefanski is going to try and run in Atlanta will be anywhat similar to what we saw here the last couple of years in Cleveland? Or do you think it'll go back to like the 2020,
I do.
2021?
Remember when
versions?
they had a real quarterback, Joe Flacco, in 23, and how he threw the ball to Amari Cooper? That's what they're going to do to Drake London. And by the way, they have Bijan who they can pitch it to, hand it to, screen it to. Like, he's phenomenal.
If he,
So you think they'll have offensive success?
Yes.
they're gonna try to dust off that screen game, that 2020 Kevin Stefanski screen game with. I mean, they got.
He's going to want to re-sign Pitts.
Oh yeah, of course. Maybe
Njoku ends up in Atlanta.
Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be kind of crazy. That'd be kind of wild.
And I don't know.
You need
we'll
to.
see. But Pitts had his best year this year, didn't he?
By far his best year.
By far, yeah.
He's going to get franchise tagged.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Which is smart with a guy like him who's only done it 1 year.
Yeah.
But he's still very young.
He's 25. Doesn't turn 26 till the middle of next year.
Yeah. They're losing him and Tyler Algier from their offense. I don't know about any of their offensive linemen.
And maybe they're losing Algier. I mean, Algier might see that as a great role, especially with Stefanski coming in.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. Although he could probably be a number 1 on some team.
Yeah, it depends on what the market is.
I got it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a
Where
theory.
he gonna be a number 1?
I got a
Washington?
theory. I feel like Pittsburgh. It could be
Cardinals.
I feel like Pittsburgh might finally get it's time for them to come back to the world. Come back to the back. Like, I get your stability.
Who
but
do you say?
It's time to come back to the rest of the world.
Steelers?
Yeah. I feel like the Steelers they are at a very pivotal place. They got an old roster. They got an aging roster. They don't really have an answer at quarterback.
Yeah, who's going to be their quarterback next year?
Like
Will Howard.
DK Metcalf. You know what I'm
Go
saying?
Bucks.
They're a Malik Willis spot. They're a Mac Jones spot.
Do you think
too.
Will Howard gets
Ty
a chance to
Simpson.
compete or no?
He might. I mean, you draft him, he's on the roster.
Yeah. Wow, your guy. There.
Go Bucks.
Hey,
that was Jay's guy.
I think the only thing holding this thing together is Hayward and TJ Watt and some bubble gum.
No,
let one of them
Highsmith.
but let one of them get hurt, and all of a sudden y'all gonna have to come back to what we all dealing with. The fact if you ain't got no quarterback and you got an old roster, it's time to go ahead and rebuild that.
Yeah, their receiving core is really bad.
Yeah.
DK there.
Right.
Besides him, they got nobody.
So
They got
Who does that?
three like okay tight ends.
Pat Fryer moving Darnell Washington.
Minimowski, Darnell Washington, they can move him to tackle. Like, you might as well move
But
him.
they got Jalen Warren still.
That's cool.
They got The kid they drafted high, running back, didn't even play this year.
Right.
He stunk.
I already knew it.
And they got the guy, what's his name? The other running back from Philly they got.
Gainwell, he'll be a free agent.
And if you thought they was upset
for them to come on down,
they said, come on back to the world. If you thought y'all was upset that the Steelers fans was mad because Tomlin was just getting to the playoffs, what that expectation level going to look like? They ain't going to play around.
Depends
with
on who their quarterback is.
Yeah, it does. It does. But odds are it's not going to be somebody that is that good. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
But the Steelers, we'll see if they continue having that magic without Tomlin.
Pittsburgh, going like Browns where they just never see
I need that. No, I need that.
Never see
no, I need that.
You know what? It would really be a shame. I would kind of feel bad for them.
Why?
Because they
What you talking about?
They didn't know.
What you mean you feel?
Like all of that, we want Mike Tomlin go. Like I kept explaining, like y'all don't really want to do that.
I can't wait for them to fall off. I've been waiting for them to fall off.
I want them to be the worst team in football.
I would wish what we go through on my worst.
I do. I do. I want the Steelers to go through it. Let the Ravens be stupid and trade Lamar this offseason.
Hey, come on, listen. Hey, listen. I'm ready for y'all to fall off.
It should be wide open for your Bengals.
Well, I'd like that.
No, we ain't got no love. No, we ain't got no love for them either. They need to fall off.
You ain't got no.
Not got no love for them.
Zach, good stuff as always, man. We'll talk to you soon.